What if I told you that you're able to time travel? You'll look at me like I'm crazy, right? Well, these documents by the CIA proves that time travel isn't just something science fiction. It's real. These documents disprove so much of our current reality. The fact that the CIA had access to all of these documents and these technologies, it just makes me wonder what other technologies and capabilities they have right now. This whole case just blows my mind, and it makes me question reality and go down this rabbit hole. So I want you to sit back and watch with an open mind, and at the end, tell me your honest opinion on this whole case and what else the CIA might be hiding. So let's dive in. In 1983, Lieutenant Wayne McDonnell provided the CIA with a set of documents that would unlock a new frontier of possibilities for exploring the human mind and unlocking its full potential. These classified documents attempt to break down the nature of the reality that we live in, stating that we live in a holographic universe, and what we think of as reality is just in our minds, that we create our own reality. These documents contain information about a top-secret program known as the Gateway Process. The early 1980s was a tense time in the Cold War. During this period, the US government attempted to deploy a powerful new weapon against the Soviet Union, mind reading, as well as gain an edge in areas such as intelligence gathering, espionage, and military strategy. By accessing altered states of consciousness, individuals involved in the Gateway Process could obtain details that would have been impossible to obtain through traditional means, giving the CIA a significant advantage in intelligence gathering. The program was designed to break down the limitations of the human mind and explore new frontiers of the psyche, making it an invaluable tool in the race to stay ahead of the Soviet Union. Lieutenant Wayne McDonnell partnered with several different people to produce this report, including Isaac Bentov, an American-Israeli scientist who helped pioneer the biomedical engineering industry. Together, they helped to pioneer a new frontier of psychic research that would change the way we think about the human mind forever. The program wasn't just about exploring consciousness, it also included remote viewing, a technique that could enable people to see and describe distant locations and even travel to other dimensions. By accessing altered states of consciousness, individuals involved in the Gateway Process could obtain details that would have been impossible to obtain through traditional means, giving the CIA a significant advantage. The CIA carefully recorded hundreds of cases documenting successful instances of remote viewing, providing tangible evidence that supported the existence and effectiveness of this practice. For many years, rumors and speculation had swirled around the Gateway Process and the mysterious remote viewing programs. The CIA denied the existence of the Gateway Process and remote viewing, dismissing them as baseless rumors. But what people didn't realize was that the roots of the Gateway Process went back much further than the 1980s. In fact, the program had its origins in the research of a man named Robert Monroe. Monroe was a pioneer in the field of consciousness exploration, and his work had caught the attention of the CIA in the 1950s. The agency was interested in the potential applications of Monroe's research, particularly in the area of remote viewing. Over the years, the CIA continued to keep an eye on Monroe's work, and his research became one of the key inspirations for the Gateway Process. The program built on Monroe's earlier work in consciousness exploration and incorporated new technologies and techniques to push the boundaries of what was possible. But in 2003, in a significant move, the CIA declassified the analysis and assessment of the Gateway Process, offering the public a rare glimpse into the realm of consciousness exploration and psychic phenomena. However, keen observers soon noticed something was weird. Page 25 of the section dedicated to the Gateway Process was missing. But then, in 2017, an astounding revelation sent shockwaves through the intelligence community. The missing page from the highly classified Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process resurfaced from the archives of the CIA's Center for the Study of Intelligence. This rediscovered page held critical information that shed light on the genuine motivations driving the CIA's interest in the Gateway Process and remote viewing. Its contents would unveil the full extent of the government's involvement in the exploration of consciousness and psychic phenomena. Robert Monroe was a man with an ordinary upbringing. He was born in 1915 in Indiana to a middle-class family. He lived a relatively normal life, working in radio and television broadcasting. However, Monroe's life would soon take a dramatic turn that would change his perspective on the nature of reality and the human experience forever. In the 1950s, Monroe began to experience what he would later describe as unusual sensations. During periods of sleep, he found that he was able to leave his body and explore different realms of consciousness. The experience occurred one night when Monroe was lying in bed, drifting off to sleep, when he suddenly felt a strange sensation. It was as if his body was floating, detached from the physical world around him. He felt a sense of weightlessness and freedom that he had never experienced before. As he looked down, he saw his body lying in bed, but he was somehow separate from it. He could see the room around him in vivid detail, and he felt a sense of excitement and wonder at this new perspective on the world. For several minutes, Monroe floated above his body, exploring his surroundings and experiencing these sensations. Then suddenly, he was pulled back into his body, the experience coming to an end as quickly as it had begun. These experiences were so vivid and powerful that Monroe became obsessed with exploring them further. Monroe's out-of-body experiences continued to captivate him, driving him to dive further into the mysteries of the human consciousness. He documented his profound experiences in his book, Journeys Out of the Body. The book's popularity and widespread piqued the interest of the CIA. The CIA was interested in Monroe's work as they saw potential applications for his methods in their own research on remote viewing and psychic phenomena. They believed that the ability to leave one's body and explore different realms of consciousness could have significant implications for national security. In the weeks that followed, Monroe had many more out-of-body experiences, and on more than one occasion, he was able to roll in the air of his bedroom and to view his physical body in bed beside his wife. Alarmed, Monroe consulted a friend who was a physician. He examined Monroe and found nothing wrong with him. Thinking that it might be helpful, he told Monroe that he had read of Hindu adepts who could leave their bodies and fly, and that Monroe ought to try it. Even though he did not appreciate the physician's casual attitude, Monroe decided to experiment a little. With each succeeding out-of-body experience, Monroe grew progressively bolder. He no longer feared the experiences, but used them for extensive exploration. Later explaining his experiences, Monroe stated, "Being out of body is a state of consciousness where you are distinct and separate from your physical body. The separateness can be 2 inches or 2,000 miles or more. You can think, act, and perceive in this state much as you do physically. Now, after many years of living with and exploring the change, the very least I can be sure of is it didn't harm me. When I learned of the potentials involved, I became excited and went to work at learning how to control this activity. If this sounds wild or weird, or like nonsense, you're about where I was in 1958, and I don't blame you." As Monroe's work gained more recognition and support, he founded the Monroe Institute in 1974. Over the years, Monroe continued to experiment with hemispheric synchronization and different techniques for inducing these altered states of consciousness. He practiced meditation, hypnosis, and other methods. However, it was through his experimentation with binaural beats that Monroe discovered the power of Hemisync. Hemisync is short for hemispheric synchronization and is instrumental in achieving a state of consciousness in which the electric brain patterns of both left and right hemispheres are equal in amplitude and frequency. It does so by combining 2 techniques. The first is frequency following response. A recognized external frequency is introduced by headphones, which causes the brain to try to mimic the same frequency by adjusting its brainwave output. For instance, a resting brain that hears a theta level will shift out of its beta level. The second technique is beat frequency. Contrasting frequencies are introduced in each ear. The brain then chooses to hear the difference between them. So for example, a brain that's receiving 100 Hz through the right ear and 104 Hz through the left can then detect the delta, in this case, a 4 Hz frequency. The technique then opens the brain to a variety of frequencies, which are played at a virtually subliminal audible level. With the left brain relaxed and the body in a virtual sleep state, according to the report, the conditions are ideal to promote brainwave outputs of higher and higher amplitude and frequency. When the wave patterns of consciousness drops below an oscillation frequency of 10 to the power of 33 centimeters per second, for a brief instant, it clicks out of space and time and joins infinity. Monroe's theories maintain that if an individual achieves the click out state, they can begin dialoguing with other dimensions. But little did he know that his work would eventually catch the attention of the CIA, who were seeking to gain an advantage over their Soviet rivals in the Cold War. During the Cold War, The United States was engaged in a fierce rivalry with the Soviet Union, and the CIA was seeking every possible advantage over their rivals. One area of interest for the agency was the exploration of psychic phenomena, including remote viewing and altered states of consciousness. It was during this time that the CIA became aware of the pioneering work of Robert Monroe, who had been exploring the realm of altered states of consciousness for decades. The agency saw the potential applications of Monroe's research in the field of remote viewing and other psychic abilities, and they were eager to work with him. Monroe agreed to work with the agency and became involved in the Gateway Project, a top-secret program that aimed to unlock the full potential of the human mind through exploration of altered states of consciousness. In 2003, the CIA declassified a 29-page document called Analysis and Assessment of the Gateway Process. The Gateway Process is all about experiencing the non-physical aspects of reality. It mainly focuses on out-of-body experiences, remote viewing, and overall evolution of consciousness. It's through these techniques that we can learn how powerful our consciousness truly is. Gateway is the gateway to the hidden parts of reality that few know exist. The CIA believed that exploring altered states of consciousness could provide them with a strategic advantage in the Cold War. They believed that if they could unlock the full potential of the human mind, they can gain new insights into their rivals' actions and intentions, as well as gain an edge in areas such as intelligence gathering, espionage, and military strategy. At its core, the document is a thrilling exploration of the human mind's untapped potential and the possibility of inducing a profound out-of-body experience that can tune in to a higher realm beyond our reality. The technique is based on ideas developed by the Monroe Institute. It states that certain exercises can allow the brain to hemisync, whereby brainwaves in the right and left hemispheres synchronize at the same frequency and amplitude. Hemisync, the report states, can be achieved through a series of meditation-like exercises while listening to a set bunch of sound waves known as the gateway tapes. As per the report, the universe is a complex system of interacting energy fields in which states are simply variations in energy. Human consciousness is no different. It's just a vibrational pattern of energy. Once hemisync is achieved, the report states it can trigger an altered state of consciousness in which the vibration of a person's consciousness is free from the physical reality and tunes into the pure energy field. Drawing on ideas of quantum entanglement, the report states that it is possible for human consciousness to profoundly alter the universe. Since reality is a holographic projection, the part encodes the whole. In this understanding of reality, everything is deeply connected in a matrix of interconnected energy vibrations, from your consciousness to the depths of the universe. So I want you to think about human consciousness. It's not some mysterious and separate thing. Instead, they describe it as a special pattern of vibrations within these energy fields. Like a song is made up of different musical notes, our consciousness is made up of vibrations within this energy field. And here's where things get really interesting. Hemisync is a state where our consciousness becomes synchronized or in tune with these energy fields, almost like being on the same wavelength. When we achieve this state, something amazing happens. Our consciousness enters an altered state where it's no longer limited by physical reality. It's like stepping into a different dimension. In this state, we can tap into the pure energy field that permeates the universe. It's as if our consciousness becomes free to explore beyond what we normally experience. This consciousness participates in the all-knowing, infinite continuum of consciousness, which is a characteristic of energy in the ever-present. Consequently, it is accurate to observe that when a person experiences the out-of-body state, he is, in fact, projecting that eternal spark of consciousness and memory, which constitutes the ultimate source of his identity. To let it play in and learn from dimensions, both inside and outside the time-space world in which the physical component currently enjoys a short period of reality. The gateway process allows human consciousness to transcend the limitations of physical reality and access a vast array of intervening dimensions. As the declassified CIA report notes, these dimensions lie between the absolute, the one, consciousness, everything, and the material universe that we experience in our day-to-day lives. Through the gateway process, individuals can tune their consciousness to different frequency ranges, similar to adjusting a TV dial. This enables them to perceive completely different channels of reality, offering a glimpse into alternate worlds and dimensions beyond our everyday experience. This is so because in order to attain self-consciousness, the consciousness of the Absolute must project a hologram of itself and then perceive it. That hologram is a mirror image of the Absolute. An infinity still exists outside time and space, but is one step removed from the Absolute and is the actual agent of all creation, all reality, and the eternal thought or concept of self, which results from this self-consciousness, serves the... Then the article stops and continues to page 26. Since the report's declassification, countless FOIA requests have been filed demanding page 25's release, but in every instance, the CIA had denied ever having it in the first place. But when the missing page was found in 2017, it shocked everyone and confirmed all of the theories. So it continues from page 24 into page 25, serves the Absolute as the model around which the evolution of time-space revolves to ultimately attain a reflection of and union with them. The page opens with the word Absolute. This word holds significant meaning within the report, encompassing spiritual belief systems and quantum physics alike. Its significance cannot be understated. Page 25 goes on to say that physicists define time as a measurement of energy in motion. In this way, time is really a measurement of change. In order for that motion to occur, it must be limited inside a larger vibratory pattern. Inside this framework, it is limited, contained at a specific location. That confinement then makes it distinguishable from other locations in space. Uncontained energy is force without limit. Imagine a formless entity speeding through the galaxy with no friction to hold it back from being everywhere. As McDonald puts it, there's no here to differentiate it from there, and this is an absolute state, or the Absolute. According to the report, the Absolute is essentially the governing energy of the universe in mass. It powers the universal hologram in all of its entirety. The report makes multiple attempts to visualize the universal hologram, or cosmic egg, as one big constantly flowing spiral. McDonald highlights a remarkable pattern in religious systems throughout history, a symbolic depiction of a spiral that appears to be present in each of them. He specifically points out examples such as Christianity's Holy Spirit, the Hebrew Tree of Life, the Hindu equivalent, and the Chinese spiral through the four powers. The idea of the Absolute has permeated the teachings of various religious systems around the world. But McDonald concludes, between the reality we know and the Absolute, there are countless intervening dimensions, which is pretty trippy stuff for a government report. The Absolute is the ceiling as far as we know it, the end of the line, and a hell of a way to open a missing page. The Monroe Institute developed a series of audio recordings called the Gateway Tapes, which are designed to guide individuals through the process of achieving altered states of consciousness. The tapes utilize Hemisync technology, which uses binaural beats to synchronize the brain's hemispheres and induce altered states. The tapes are divided into different levels, with each level building upon the previous one. The first level is called Focus 10, which is a state of deep relaxation and heightened awareness. In this state, individuals are able to access their subconscious mind and explore their own consciousness. As individuals progress through the different levels, they're able to access deeper levels of consciousness, including Focus 12, which is a state of expanded awareness and access to non-physical dimensions. In this state, individuals are able to explore the realm of the unconscious mind and connect with the higher levels of consciousness. It then goes on to Focus 15. Focus 15 is a state of no time and no space. It involves a release of the individual's consciousness from the constraints of linear time and physical reality. In this state, individuals can experience a sense of timelessness and tap into a deeper understanding of the nature of reality. Focus 15 is often associated with accessing the collective consciousness and exploring interconnections beyond individual existence. It then moves on to Focus 21. Focus 21 is characterized by expanded awareness and enhanced intuition. In this state, individuals can connect with information and energies beyond their immediate surroundings. It allows for exploration of different realms of consciousness and facilitates the development of psychic abilities and intuitive insights, and then goes on to the final state, Focus 22. Focus 22 involves the exploration of dimensions beyond the physical reality. In this state, individuals can encounter non-physical entities, spirit guides, or energies from other realms. Focus 22 provides an opportunity for individuals to connect with higher intelligence and expand their understanding of the universe and their place within it. The Gateway tape series are designed to assist individuals in deepening their understanding of consciousness, expanding their spiritual awareness, and connecting with higher levels of existence. These tapes are designed to be used in a quiet and comfortable environment, with individuals wearing headphones to listen to the binaural beats. The tape guides individuals through a series of relaxation exercises and visualization techniques, helping them to achieve the desired altered states of consciousness. But one of the most fascinating aspects of the Gateway project that the CIA denied was its use for remote viewing. Remote viewing is a technique that allows individuals to perceive and describe distant locations or events even when they're not physically present at the location. The CIA remote viewing manual describes a cross between astral projection, lucid dreaming, and a voluntary out-of-body experience. Essentially, remote viewing is about entering a state of meditative clairvoyance to retrieve real-time information about a distant location or target. Using intent as a map and the astral body or soul as a vehicle, travelers claim they're able to explore any location they desire. Consequently, they claim to be able to view otherwise impossible things. In one well-known example of remote viewing, the CIA used a technique to gather intelligence on a potential enemy military base. Remote viewers were given only the coordinates of the base, and they were asked to describe what they saw. The results were astonishing. The remote viewers were able to provide accurate descriptions of the layout of the facility, the types of buildings, and even the activities taking place inside. They were able to describe specific details such as types of equipment being used, the clothing worn by personnel, and even the emotions and intentions of those present. These results were far beyond what would be expected by chance, and they sparked the interest of the CIA and other intelligence agencies in the potential of remote viewing as a tool for gathering intelligence. But the most mysterious part is that remote viewing is not just some unattainable ability reserved for the elite. It's a power that lies within all of us, waiting to be unlocked, and this is how. Step 1. Remote viewing target selection. To begin, the assistant pre-selects an image of a geographical location. Crucially, they must ensure the image remains unknown to the viewer. Meanwhile, the CIA would send an operative or a beacon to the target location. The remote viewer would then attempt to observe their presence and describe their actions. If you wish to do this, unless you have the CIA resources, it's best to probably keep your targets local. Step 2. Remote viewing preparation. This is the time to quiet your mind and filter out mental chatter. The idea is to fall into the altered state needed for the astral body to strap on its wings. The CIA gave their psychic spies waterbeds and relaxation tapes to enhance this process. Step number 3. The takeoff. After confirming their readiness to the assistant, the viewer sets off. When they feel they've arrived, the viewer begins by describing primary impressions of the location, event, or person to the assistant. Firstly, the viewer attempts to describe faint outlines and features, such as environment and terrain. Secondly, the viewer tries more specific descriptions. Is the site natural or artificial? Is it near a body of water? Viewers are encouraged to record sensory information, for example, sizes, shapes, smells, taste, and temperatures. And step number 4, remote viewing feedback. The viewer relates their experience to the assistant. The assistant then cross-references the remotely gathered data against factual, real-world information. If there was a beacon assisting in the outside world, a discussion will follow. After that, you'll discover whether the experiment was just a fun way to pass time or whether you have genuine psychic abilities. The Declassified Analysis and Assessment of the Gateway Process Manual, released by the CIA, gave the public a rare glimpse into the secretive world of consciousness exploration and psychic phenomena. The manual outlined various techniques and technologies using the Gateway project, including binaural beats, guided meditation, and remote viewing. Through the visionary pursuits of Robert Monroe to the declassification CIA documents, we've uncovered a world where consciousness transcends physical limitations. Robert Monroe's tireless dedication to the exploration of altered states of consciousness has yielded invaluable discoveries. His groundbreaking research not only dived into the depths of human awareness, but also yielded practical techniques. Through these techniques, we discover the immense power and boundless wonder that awaits us when we dare to venture beyond the veil of the unknown. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this incredible journey. Your support means the world to me. So if you haven't already, it'll mean a lot if you subscribe and hit that like button. And don't forget to share this mysterious adventure with your friends. It makes a huge difference in helping me bring you more amazing content. I hope I was able to open your mind up today and encourage you to do your own research and see what other mysteries lies out there for us to discover. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you soon with more mind-blowing discoveries.